Welcome to the Art of Healing podcast, the podcast that is dedicated to helping you connect with your mind, body, and spirit. This is Charlize, physician and Reiki master, and thank you so much for joining me. I would like to remind you that although I'm a physician, the information you receive in this podcast is for educational and entertainment purposes only. You can find my full disclaimer at my website, www.healingartshealthandwellness.com. If you like what you hear on this podcast, sign up for my weekly newsletter. Check your show notes for more information and for the link to sign up. Thank you. Welcome back to the Art of Healing podcast. This is Charlize, and as always, it is fantastic to be meeting back with you on the podcast space. So April is Anxiety Awareness Month, and we have been working on grounding our energy for April. And in the previous episodes, we had talked about some simple exercises. We did some together to ground our energy. So I wanted to include just a few more that can help ground that energy, brief things that you can do right now, and a reminder that these come from my ebook, 9 Ways to Ground Your Energy. I do have a book, 21-Day Meditation Journey, which is available on Amazon. And I also have a corresponding course, which is a 21-Day Meditation Challenge that's available on my website. My ebook is 9 simple grounding exercises you can have on your phone. It's a good reference if you're listening to this podcast and you've decided to start these. So in the show notes, I'd recommend you get your copy if you don't have it. But we're just going to do a few more from that ebook that are simple. And the way you can do this is you can do it as you're listening real time. If you want to listen now, maybe download and do them later when you've got time. You can also listen and then have the ebook ready as a reference and then just do them on your own. In the last few episodes, we had talked about why we ground, what's grounding, what's happening when we're having anxiety. So you might wonder, when is it time to think, when do I know I need to ground my energy? So I think of it this way. If you're feeling out of sorts, racing thoughts, if you're even feeling like a little lightheaded, if you're feeling a little out of it, can't get settled, you're feeling agitated, you're feeling wired, that's usually a signal that your nervous system's a little bit in overdrive, probably not in the way you want it. And sometimes we need that kind of energy, but not always. That's probably when you want to think about grounding your energy. And for most of us, I shouldn't say most of us, but depending on the flow of your day, that may be feeling that way like late morning or early afternoon. That may be a way that you feel at the end of a workday or a busy day. So those are kind of the times in your daily life that it may be time to ground. If you're tired, if your energy is already kind of low, you're feeling kind of lethargic or brain foggy, you may not necessarily need to ground your energy. So maybe in later episodes, we'll talk about the kind of energy to match that feeling, because that's probably you're already a little too grounded. But if you're feeling that kind of flighty type of energy, it's a great time to ground. Grounding your energy is good really at any time to support your immune system, to set an intention, get you ready for your day. So let's do a couple more of these together. And don't forget, you can always get the ebook if you don't have it. We had practiced using our hands in meditation, and we'll do that for these next exercises. So for this one, it's probably best if you're seated, and you can be seated on the floor, cross-legged or in a chair. But you want to be seated in such a way that you'll be able to reach your hands around to your lower back. And what you'll do is simply place your hands on your lower back. And just as we've done before, you'll want to focus your attention on the space where your lower back is touching your hands, and your hands are touching your lower back. And if it's not too much strain, you'll stay this way for a couple of minutes. And then you'll want to start to draw in a nice deep breath. And then as you exhale, bring your focus to the hands and the placement on the lower back. Because of this position, you don't need to hold still. So feel free to inhale and let your back stretch, and your hands might even shift a little. And then as you exhale, again, bring your focus to where your hands lie on your back. And as you stay this way, with a deep inhale, the body may move, may reposition. Notice if there's warmth or heat that you start to feel in the lower back or in your hands. And as your inhales get deeper and longer, you may notice that you feel some of that heat or that energy start to move into the pelvis and even into the thighs. And with each breath, as you inhale and your chest expands, so you'll move a little bit, and that's good. And as you exhale, that warmth will begin to travel down to your legs and even your feet. And so you can play with this for the next 1 or 2 minutes, just inhaling and feeling that warmth and letting it traverse all down your body. And you might even start to feel it even travel upwards. It may travel up your spine. But as you settle into this, your brain will naturally slow down, your breath will slow down. And it feels really good just to bring that grounding energy with your hands into your back. So, a little secret here, this is a bit of Reiki. And of course, we're not all Reiki practitioners. Well, we may not know we're all Reiki practitioners. We actually all are Reiki practitioners. Just some of us went ahead and did some of the training. But you're actually moving some of your own energy just with your intention, just with the focus on your back. You're actually doing some Reiki on yourself. So as we conclude, just noticing that warmth, and this is an easy one to return to. So for instance, if you're feeling some back tightness, back pain, long day, you can channel this energy yourself. So hopefully that felt nice and warm on the back, and you felt your energy getting nice and grounded. So for our last exercise, this is going to be delivering healing energy to our feet. So if you are a Reiki practitioner, this is just simply doing Reiki on the bottom of your feet. If you're not Reiki certified, you are a healer. You just may not know it yet, but you can also do this. So from your seated position, if you can reach the bottom of your feet, so if you're flexible enough to cross one leg over the other so that you can actually place one hand on the bottom of your foot. If you are not flexible enough to reach your feet, you can actually just sit comfortably, but aim your hands toward your feet. And if you're sitting cross-legged and you can reach your feet, that's fine. And once you've got where you can have access to either foot or both feet at the same time, just like we did with our lower backs, you'll start to take big inhales and bring your attention to your hands touching the bottom of your feet. And as you inhale, you can imagine positive energy, the best energy of love, acceptance, compassion. You might feel or think the color pink or rose. You might even smell roses. And as you exhale, just imagine that flowing out of your hand into your feet. If you're aiming your hands at your feet, you can do the same thing. You inhale and just manifest the best feeling you can from the top of your head. And as you exhale, it just flows from your hands into your feet. If you've been doing just one foot, then you'll alternate after several breaths. But this is the best grounding. This is my favorite way to ground my energy when I'm going to bed at night. I always like to do some Reiki on the bottom of my feet, and just knocks you out every time. You feel that warmth, and you'll feel the warmth. You'll feel it start to travel into your feet. And if you don't feel it, just keep practicing and you will feel it. And even as we're doing this, I would definitely say come back later if you didn't feel any warmth. Or if you felt coolness, it may be that your energy is so heated that the cooling energy is what your body's asking for. So just to sit with that for a few minutes. So thank you so much for grounding with me. We've been grounding for a few weeks and it's been nice and centering. Don't forget, you can get your ebook, 9 Ways to Ground Your Energy, so that you can keep copies of this for your own use. We will get back together next week for another episode. Don't forget to share with your friends and family. Don't forget to leave me a review if you have not already. And thank you so much. Bye-bye. Thank you so much for joining me for this episode of the Art of Healing podcast. Once again, this is Charlize. You can find out more about me at www.healingartshealthandwellness.com. Did you know I have a blog as well as online courses? Check your show notes to sign up for more information about healing arts, health, and wellness. Thank you. Please feel free to share this episode with your friends, family, and loved ones.